doing? This is Steve. Welcome to the Little Wood Shop and our Sunday evening vlog. Alright, well this week what we have for you, yeah, we know what these are for. Okay. What we have for you this week, wipe off the screen of our tablet, VCarve Pro Fireplace Mantel design. I'll go over real quick a couple sentences about what we're doing here. This is actually basically a piece of the blog itself. Okay, in this article we're going to be discussing VCarve Pro Fireplace Mantel design. God, I gotta get stronger glasses. A fireplace mantel is a decorative framework around the fireplace itself. It's also known as a mantelpiece, a chimney piece, or a hearth surround, fireplace surround. It's a focal point that's very artistic by design. It's made with a load of different materials. Now, we're not talking about the masonry, we're talking about the physical woodworking with a mantel with a shelf on it that will wrap your fireplace, okay? With modern heating systems, they're not as popular as they used to be because of the expense associated with them. Large, intricate engraved mantels can sometimes cost more than the fireplace itself, and I have been in homes over the years throughout being a laborer in some of the trades, and I've seen some incredible things, as well as probably a lot of you have too. Now, VCarve Pro Fireplace Mantel design. We're going to be doing a wildlife scene, and it's going to be part of the openclipart.org scene package that's already in the Google Drive. We use it in the I use it in the slat headboards that I build my log beds out of. We put a link in for the download again, so that nobody's got to shuffle to find it. The primary function of this tutorial, we're not going so much into building a physical hearth as we are doing a focal, like a fascia piece. And in this case, like I said, we're going to design a wildlife scene. And we're going to do it in segments. I'm going to show you, we're going to teach you in this tutorial how to go in, because a lot of guys, they like what comes out of this shop, and they're just, Steve, we don't have a machine even your size. Hang that up, okay? I don't care about what size your machine is. I'm going to show you how to break this down, and we're going to show you even with a small bench top. Say your milling surface is 3x2 or even 2x2. I am going to teach you, starting up here with the steps you need to take, how to perform this, okay? Just because you have a smaller machine doesn't mean you can't engrave larger projects. All right. I'm going to show you step by step how it's done. We're going to provide you the free scene, a dimensional drawing, and the video tutorial on VCarve Pro itself, okay? This tutorial will also be applicable for Cut 2D through Vectric, obviously, as well as Aspire. Alright, let me get this out of the way. And for the sake of the video, I'm normally running my new keypad. I got this from, I got to give my buddy Mr. Gerard at routertools.com, we got to give him a shout out. He doesn't really care, in my opinion, how small your shop is. I'm a nobody up here. I'm a one-man band, and he treats me no different than he would a larger company, okay? So I get all my end mills and my bits from him. I thought I'd give him a little courtesy shout out. You wanna be treated good, fair, and right? Go check out routertools.com, okay? Because in my eyes, this is how a small business helps another small business. We've got to, however, for the sake of this tutorial, I've got to work off the keyboard. Now, let me keep the close to 50s nearby, and please allow me a shot of caffeine. Ooh, that's hot. Alright, now, just like the log bed scenes, and I told you, I don't care what size machine you have, your furthest area of travel is generally your y-axis, okay? Well, it is your y-axis. What we're going to do, now I already know that my machine maxes out at 50.249 inches on the y. So if I run this, you can run your machine, and I'm going to have to yell over the gantry. Run your gantry all the way up. Don't let it crash into the end, okay? Okay, I'm hitting the key. I can't go any further. 50.249. Now, I want to take, and I want to cut that 50.249 in half. I'm not worried about the 1/4 of an inch, so I am going to go Y 25.0, enter. I'm going to bring my gantry back. Don't mind me, I got to dance around this machine a little bit. Well, that's the tip of that end mill, the tip of that VCarve bit is basically now dead center. We're going to move the x-axis out. Now, for those of you, if you've got a laser crosshair, this will work great too, alright? However, if you don't, put in, that's a 3 fluted 1/4 inch 60-degree V-bit. You can pull it down. I like my touchpad better than the keyboard. I've grown more used to it. But for the sake of this video, not everybody has a laser, okay? Take it down. You can just barely touch the top of your spoiler board. Take your pencil. Make a little mark, alright? We're going to take the Z-axis back up. I'm going to get the gantry right out of the way, okay? Now, I've already got the machine marked up, but this is, in fact, how I do it. So we're going to get the machine right out of the way. Alright. Set that down. I'm going to take my trusty carpenter square. Now, I told you I run a fence. If you choose not to drill anything into your board, it's your machine. And you know up here we don't tell anybody what to do. I just show you how I do it. My one idea by no means is the gospel. It is just another way of doing something, okay? So, you've got your mark in the table. Draw your line. I would just recommend, because these cheap pencils stink. I mean, I've already got it marked with a Sharpie, alright? Let me get my carpenter square out of the way. Let me grab more caffeine. Now, I think in the video, I ended up using a piece of non-symmetrical. If you were to go out and buy a 1x12 from your local home improvement or lumber yard, it's going to actually be 3/4 of an inch thick by 11.5 inches wide. I needed the full 12, and if I were to do a fireplace surround, which I've done a couple, I would end up buying a true 1 inch thick by 12 inch wide by 8 foot long. I'd cut it to what I need. Now I believe the example here is for a 70-inch piece wide. Now, before I go any further, there was an actual gentleman, a Mr. Seaver, who actually triggered the enthusiasm for this project. He kind of inspired me to do this because Mr. Seaver has a Canmaster Stinger 2. He's got the Model SR 44, I have the 34. Either way, he's in the same predicament as a lot of other people. He wants to do a scene, but he's only got 48 inches on the y-axis, and the project is almost 70 inches. Alright, we're going to show you how you can segment the actual wildlife scene, and what I'm going to do real quick is just highlight how I would do it up here, how I have done it, because you've seen me do these big, thick slab headboards, okay? Bear with me. Oh, there it is. Grab Mr. Tape Measure. Whatever the piece of material is that you're going to be milling, we'll say the job is obviously 70 inches long, 35 is my halfway point. Maybe you're doing something smaller or even longer. It doesn't matter, okay? You know in all my videos that my starting point on my datum, I always start from the dead center of the project. I never start my datum in a bottom or upper corner. That's just how I've been programming all my life. I always go off the middle of my piece. That's what I'm going to show you. Alright, now, again, it doesn't matter with these scene packages and how I'm going to show this. Even if you've got a 2 foot by 2 foot bench top, get yourself one of those little stands with the rollers on it so you don't have the material sagging hanging over the edge. You want to get everything nice and level, get everything flat. Mark the center of your material. You're going to end up zeroing out whether you have a laser crosshair or you're going to come down with your X and Y on your keypad controller or your keyboard. You're going to touch your top and you're going to go from there. Again, I have the fence installed, just a piece of composite. I'm going to line the center of my material up with the center mark in my machine, and then I'm going to clamp it, or I'm going to secure it. If your machine's smaller, it's obviously going to hang over each end. You're going to have to use clamps. Well, in this case, I could block it even on the end, put one clamp at the other end just to hold it from sliding, and I'll be fine. Now, I know that I can go 24 inches in either way. From the center of my machine, I have 50 inches overall on the Y, so I can go 25 and 25. I never cut it that tight, though. I won't go more than 24. I like to have that extra inch of kind of fail-safe, all right? But what we're going to do is in VCarve Pro, to make it easy, we're going to program it on the X. Okay, and what I mean by programming on the X is when you're looking at your VCarve Pro or your Aspire, you don't want to have to work off the Y-axis because you're gonna be cocking your head sideways to do the layout. So we're gonna program it this way. However, we know we can't install it in the machine this way because the gantry would hit, obviously. All right. Everything that we do is going to be off of this center mark. So essentially, regardless of your equipment, you're going to take and we'll say from our center, the next engraving is going to come up 30 inches, and it's going to come in 4 inches up off the X. You're going to touch top because, again, I'm going to program this scene in segments, in pieces. The only thing you're going to have to do is move the physical material to the center line in the machine. But we're going to show you how to do all this in the video. Next video coming up is the physical VCarve Pro construction assembly. I'm going to show you how to take and chop the nodes up to separate some of the seam, but yet put it back together, and we're going to be able to do it in segments. The next video after that will be definitely a lot shorter, but we're going to show you how to take and how to figure in your dimensions. All right? Those dimensions are ultimately going to be X marks the spot, you move your board into the center line you created on your table to where you found the center for that particular segment of that particular seam piece. You're going to clamp everything back down, you're going to re-zero your X and Y, and you're going to mill just that segment of the wildlife scene in the job. Okay? Again, we're not going to be doing a full constructed fireplace surround, because to me it's definitely a carpentry job, but for the woodworking group we're also going to include, I think I found in SketchUp somebody designed a pretty basic looking, nice but basic and simple hearth surround, wooden fireplace surround, mantle surround, whatever you want to call it, okay? And that's the example that we're going to run off of, okay? You guys, as always, stay tuned. Mr. Seaver, thank you very much for the motivation and the idea behind this, because I know a lot of guys think that they're limited because of the size machine they have. That's not the case, guys. Okay? So, everybody stay tuned. We've got more to come. We'll be right back, and we'll get rolling with the VCarve Pro. All right? All right, everybody. Thank you.